pretty good. Well, let's just start, huh? Hey, everybody! Welcome we're welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek podcast that records off Auto Row in Van Nuys, California. I'm your one of your hosts, Adam Ordall Quinnell. I'm here with my buddy.
Hey, how's it going? It's Al Hurt here.
Al Hurt, and each week we take an episode of Star Trek, the original series, and we talk about it. We do basically a recap, and we say what we liked about the episode. You know how these fucking things work.
Yeah, it's been pretty deep now.
Even if you haven't listened to one of our episodes before, there are so many podcasts with the same format. Like, you get it.
Yeah, it's pretty much just trying to get some insight of what this, beaten dead horse we have of Star Trek.
We just wanted to wring every last drop out of Star Trek. But no, it
is entertaining though. Still, after all this time,
we love it, and I'm a big fan of the new Star Trek stuff as well. And I know Al's not as current on that, but we'll get there.
Not yet.
He's saving it for the pod. So by the time we get to Strange New Worlds, which will be like 15 years from now, 20 years from now. All right. So usually we talk about what we did last week.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember what episode was last week?
It was the No.
Metamorphosis.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Jesus.
with old Zephram Cochrane. Yeah, where we met Zephram Cochrane and where that lady had a disease.
And he just came out of the blue and creeped us out.
And then then the energy being became the lady that had the disease. Right.
And they came together and they just was like, oh, she's just missing in combat.
And she said they couldn't, I don't know if we talked about it, but she said that, we probably did.
Oh, she had the disease. That's right. She had the disease and she was going to die.
If they didn't get off the planet. Yeah, but then they said that they couldn't leave the planet for more than a few days. And it's like, you got warp travel. You can go hang out somewhere for a couple days and fly back. But yeah, that was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I like Zephram Cochrane. I love Star Trek First Contact. That's the movie that he's in. And this week, we're talking about... I got to turn this fan off.
Oh, yeah. Take a sec.
Click. There. I think it should be off now. So last week, we talked about Metamorphosis.
Oh, yeah.
And this week, we're talking about Journey to Babel. Dun, 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 dun.
I think it's just more about what the trip there.
Yeah, well, see, there you go.
Right, it's not really about Babel.
Yeah, it's the Journey to. It's right there in the title.
Right,
they tell you.
It's pretty on the nose.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, he just turned it up. Here we go.
I literally turned it, and people are listening. Okay. We're back. We have the fan turned off.
Yes.
I did it. Thank you. So this week we're talking about Journey to Babel. Before we had the situation with the fan, we were talking about how that's appropriately named because they don't get there.
Oh yeah, and right from the start though, it talks about how Uncomfortable Bones is with just ceremonial shit too.
There's a lot of...
It feels like a slice of life kind of deal where it's like, oh god, another fucking ceremony thing.
Yeah, dude, you see that side of Starfleet.
Yeah.
This episode aired on November 11th. November 17th, 1967. Okay. So just very close to something years ago. And the synopsis from Paramount Plus, this is one of my favorite parts of the show when we cover the amazing synopsis. If we ever have guests, I want to find the person who has to write these. And go, you fucking nailed it.
What does it say?
Tensions run high when the Enterprise transports ambassadors to the Babel conferences.
Babel conferences.
So tensions run high. Yeah, that's true.
Well, to say the least.
Several murders happen.
Yeah. There's a freaky ship going after them. They have no idea.
Spock's dad, which we'll get into,
Spock's
has a heart attack. Yeah. So
that's
there's a lot more going on
right?
here. Very often these synopses nail it. But I think this one is wanting. So let's get into it. And as as Al said, we start with Bones complaining about being in a fucking uniform. He talks about how, and then he asks how to do the live long and prosper salute.
the Vulcan
he calls
salute.
it the Vulcan salute, which whatever.
They're figuring it out still.
And he says, this doing that hurts more than the goddamn uniform. I don't know why I made Bones Gary Busey, but yeah. So
Bones always complains though, doing his thing.
So what's going on here? What's happening is the Enterprise is hosting a bunch of delegates from different races across the galaxy to discuss a mining concern on a planet called Caridian, I believe.
Caridian, okay.
Is that what it was?
I have no idea, but
we're gonna find out.
Mining stuff, huh?
Yeah. So what the deal is? There's a planet that everybody's got mining interests in because they've got dilithium there, which is the thing you need to fucking fly
Fuel
around.
Stuff, yeah.
And so they've got all these delegates to discuss this very sensitive situation, a bit of a powder keg, which they don't even really talk about much in the show, in the episode, if at all. But they get the name. They get the name.
Setting.
They get the name Babel, like from the Tower or Babel, they call it.
Yeah.
But it's like the Tower of
Tower
Babel, and it's people who they got smashed because they all spoke the same language, and they just were hedonists and shit. And God smited it and broke them up into a bunch of different races that all had different languages because it dilutes the power of man, right? So they're saying that all these different races are like those contentious races that have been separated by God.
Huh.
Or something. Also, they pronounce it
pretty deep for this.
They pronounce it Babel, which I think is fucking goofy.
Yeah.
So
maybe they made that distinction just cause though.
So exactly, right? Because they didn't want. Well, also maybe it's future-y. If we
Or
had,
they just forget about it in the future, the pronunciation.
that's what on Futurama.
Religion's just like so, man.
No, it's like on Futurama when Leela says, "Yeah, it's like how Fry says ask instead of axe," because they say axe in the future. So what we've been the big surprise though, like, so there's delegates. Like, who gives a shit, right? Well, it turns out we see one of these delegates come on. They say it's the Vulcan delegate.
Yeah.
But when he comes off the ship, it's clearly the fucking Romulan captain from Balance of Terror, right?
Yeah, I mean,
my God.
If anybody followed it, they would have freaked out.
Why didn't... I'm surprised Kirk didn't say, hey, you're that fucking captain from the thing. But no, it's not. This is Spock's dad, Sarek.
Right.
Well, actually, he's Ambassador Sarek.
No, yeah, Ambassador Sarek, and they all introduce each other very formally. And but what is it? And then Kirk goes, "Hey, why doesn't Spock give you a tour? He's Vulcan, you're Vulcan."
And they're
like, "Nope,
fuck that."
Yep, we would much rather tour with someone else,
literally
like
anybody else.
They're like, huh? Okay. And then he goes, "Well, Spock, why don't you go beam down and visit your parents?" And he goes, "These are my parents." Yeah, and it's like,
musical sting. It's so funny. So then we meet the actor Mark Leonard, who did play the awesome captain in Balance of Terror.
Yeah.
But he's Sarek. He's Spock's dad, and he ends up playing Sarek through all the movies up to like the J.J. Abrams reboots when they cast somebody else.
Jeez.
And he was in Next Generation, and I don't know if he was in Voyager. But I believe he was in Deep Space Nine. I wish we had more people that listen to the podcast so they could correct me. Then we also meet Spock's mom, Amanda. And Amanda is Human, as the Ferengi would say.
She's pretty, what is it called? She gets set aside a lot. Yeah,
they kind of... So she's obviously human and a Vulcan. They have a very complicated relationship, but it's interesting that it's not just like Spock mentions
relationship.
It's really fucked up because she said basically he's like shitty to her,
especially the end.
Well, so we'll get to the part where Kirk says it's like an order. And she's like, you don't understand. He's a Vulcan. They order their wives around.
Yeah,
They're dicks.
We're used to this tone of voice.
We did miss out on an important thing, though. Spock hasn't talked to his dad in 18 years.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
Now, she says they haven't spoken as father and son in 18 years. But so does that mean, like, as colleagues, they talk all the time? Like,
yeah. Oh, by the way, Starfleet has to do some checkup on some Vulcan thing. And he's like, oh, hey.
We're going to spend weeks together as coworkers.
Yeah. I got to do this report here about a checkup in Vulcan. So bye, you know.
So Sarek goes to get a tour from Kirk.
Yeah.
And Spock is going to go do literally anything else. And that's how we meet Sarek, who's going to be such a huge character in Star Trek going forward.
It's a very strange first impression, though, of just like this immediate standoffish.
Well, I like it that we're meeting another Vulcan, and because
that's true. It's refreshing. It feels like they're expanding the world,
and that he's like even more Vulcan than Spock. That's how they're really shining a light on Spock's humanness, I think, by showing how Vulcan Sarek is.
It's also traditional, like, generations conflicting with like a newer generation of a person, or a new generation of like having the influx of juggling both the traditional values and, I mean, Spock is a little human, right?
50%.
Yeah, so I guess it's like him trying to understand which ones do I use. Which one is more logical? What's more valuable? XYZ, XYZ.
He's always got to be calculating.
Yes.
And I feel the same way, but it's not always logical.
Yeah,
when
this really
I'm calculating.
comes to a head, though, in this episode.
So Kirk is showing Amanda and Sarek engineering, which I think is hilarious because, like I mentioned to you when we were watching the episode, Vulcans helped humans do all this shit.
Yeah, I was like, why do they
know all that stuff?
Like, could you imagine if every airplane you went on, they were like, let's show you how all of this works.
And why isn't he giving a why isn't he giving a tour to the pig-faced Tellarite delegation?
Okay, there we go. Mm-hmm. That's or selective.
Or the black aliens that we'll get into shortly. Why isn't he giving them a tour?
Or there should be a big you know what, if this was Next Gen or Deep Space Nine, they would have a big conference room, you know, and the captain would say some speech on a fucking, what is it called? Not a mantle. What is that called?
Podium.
A podium. God, what am I talking about? A podium, yeah. And they would just be some big speech. Oh, we're all happy you're here for the da-da-da-da-da-da. And then the conflict would happen. But this it's still kind of feeling it out of how people really get introduced to the ship in general.
Yeah. And
and it's like you said, like at this point, they're Vulcans in the future. Vulcans know what's going on.
They had warp technology way before us. So
and the fucking wife doesn't seem to care.
It's like if you showed. Well, so here's the thing. It's like if you showed some, like if you showed the people who make the iPod, or no, if you show the people who made the iPhone 14. Right? If you show them like a CD player or something, and you were like, "This is how CD players work," or
it's a laser.
No. There's a more of an analogy in like you show them a click wheel iPod. Like this is like Sarek and them, they have access to the iPhone 15, and Kirk is like, "Look at this click wheel iPod that we have," and Sarek's like, "You literally can't even make a fucking phone call on that shit." And
it's their work too. I don't know. It's gonna be a little awkward to see all these people around dangerous things too. And they're not very worried about security either, I guess, if anybody wanted to sabotage the ship. Which comes up later, obviously. You know, with like
all the murders.
Random murder, yeah.
Yeah. And so this is a great
400 people.
400 people walking around while all these politicians are hanging out.
Each other.
So Kirk and Amanda have a great scene in engineering where this is where Sarek says, "I'm a bit tired," and I'd be like, "Isn't tired a human emotion?" You fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But no, Sarek says, "Continue to give my wife the tour," and and she says after Sarek leaves, she says, "Well, Kirk, continue the tour as Sarek said so." And he's like, "Yeah, sounded like an order, like he's ordering you around." And she's like, "Of course he's ordering me around. He's a Vulcan and I'm his wife. Like that's just okay. Like, hey, they're dicks.
Yeah,
nothing we can do." Nothing, and that's when Kirk does some of his best face acting of this season, because these close-ups going back and forth when Kirk is talking to Amanda about Spock, Kirk has like the best smirks and eyebrows. It really looks like he had really taken his pills that day or whatever. Like he was killing it.
And I feel like it's what is it? It's also kind of aged though in the sense of with Kirk and Bones just prying in. Yeah, they're kind of brotherly of just them prying in on Spock's, relationship with his father and stuff, but they're just like, oh, so what was he like? What was his home life?
They do bully him a little bit.
Are you sure he cared about his father? They're both pretty stubborn, this and that, and like they're just kind of like, what is it called? They're prying. I mean,
they're chiding him. They're giving him shit and like learning about his
ammo.
It's like if your friends meet your friends meet your parents and like ask to see baby pictures of you. It's like embarrassing shit.
Yeah, it's just.
But you can't embarrass Spock. You can't embarrass Spock though. He doesn't have emotions. Yeah, so who gives a shit? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
it's weird, but it is funny though how it's kind of like a brother thing. I think it's coming off more as the more I think about it.
I agree, especially with Bones. Like because you know that Bones would totally like give up his life for Spock. Like Bones would.
That's true.
Or Kirk, or pretty much anybody. The end of that scene.
So anyways.
the end of the scene with Amanda. There's a great exchange between her and Kirk where Kirk is like, Starfleet only uses violence as a last resort, and because she explains and he guesses that Spock's dad is mad that Spock joined Starfleet instead of going to the Vulcan Science Academy. I can't believe we almost didn't mention this shit. It's the most important part of their relationship.
Yeah, and they're just like deep in it though. What I'm saying is like, it's like they're talking about their coworker.
Exactly. Yeah, he's but he does also say I'm his captain and his friend.
Yeah,
and she says I'm glad he's got a friend like you.
That's like with the whole what is it? Was it Star Trek 3 when Spock and Bones were both like, hey, I'm your Starfleet medical officer and I'm your friend.
It was either 2 or 3. I know that
2.
Bones is the one who gets the Katra at the end of 2, and so he's got Spock in his head for 3.
Yeah,
must be 3 then.
It must be 3. Because they say that to him twice, where it's like, I am his officer and his friend, where it's like, we were just, obsessed over that line of just establishing the whole professional friend intimate relationship. It's so bizarre, but it is really funny.
Absolutely. And then at the end of that exchange, they have a very dramatic exchange, and they plumb the depths of Spock's relationship with his father and to Starfleet, and then Uhura gets on the screen and she's like, there was like a weird little signal.
Oh yeah.
And Kirk's like, what? And she's like, yeah, it's like a little signal. It seemed like it was close but strong, and then it was weak. I don't know. And Kirk's like, keep an eye on it.
Uh-huh.
Then we cut to the lounge area where all of the alien races are hanging out.
This is the whole congregation I was wanting from the beginning.
Yes. It's almost Star Wars-y.
Yeah, a little bit like
pre-Star Wars-y. Yeah, there's a lot of. They're all hanging out. They're looking at. They got multicolored cubes of look like Play-Doh that they're gonna eat.
Yeah, but then like some of the cubes are in people's drinks. So they put maybe it's ice.
The little guys. I should not say that. The gold people. They put it in their drink, and it kind of like. Here's the thing: that scene of the gold people putting this stuff in their drink. Do you think that's like they're supposed to do that, or they're aliens and they don't know? Like, imagine this: you go to guiding them. An alien comes down to a human dinner party now, right? And they have a drink, and then they see shrimp. And they like put the shrimp. Do you think these guys are like putting shrimp in a drink?
That's what I'm saying. There's no like waiter. There's no clear like, oh, here are the hors d'oeuvres. Yeah. Here's the charcuterie where you can pick with the
These are aliens, dog.
Yeah, they don't know any of that.
But my favorite part of the aliens is
you pointed it out.
So the first aliens you see when they cut to the lounge are just what look like two tall black guys wearing robes and hoods.
They're just hanging out.
They're just hanging out, talking, and
could have been from any other scene.
You really have to zoom in to see that they maybe did a little prosthetic over their eyebrows to make their eyebrows to be aliens, but it really looks like they were like, "Hey, we're getting all these aliens ready to go for this scene. Oh, they're black. Well, good enough.
We gotta fill these two. Yeah,
they're already just bananas.
I hoped it was like a last minute thing.
Bananas. That
like,
they would.
Oh, we need 2 more people to fill this area.
Oh my god!
You 2 here. Here's some hoodies.
They're all over the background too later.
It's hilarious.
So you go from the black guys to these the little people actors who I recognize from other shit from the 60s and 70s.
Really?
They were in all kinds of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And they are covered in gold paint that definitely was suffocating them.
Oh, I know. Yeah. They clogging their pores.
They put little blue and gold balls, little blue Play-Doh balls in glasses and pour wine on it.
Yeah.
And then we get some Spock, Bones, Sarek, Amanda, Kirk action. Everybody's talking about this. And one thing that they point out is that Sarek is retiring. This is going to be one of his last negotiations.
Yeah.
But it's weird because he's only like 120 something years old. Because Bones says, "Aren't you relatively young to be retiring?" And he's 102.437 years old in human years.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that a fucked up thing for somebody to ask? Aren't you a little young to be retiring? And we find out later that Sarek has. We find out later that something you're going to learn about me is that I constantly worry about how things are perceived in conversation. So like to me, what Bones is a fucking doctor, right?
Yeah.
And he's supposedly pretty smart. Later, we learn in this episode that Sarek has a heart condition. So this is a doctor going, "Aren't you retiring a little young?" It's like, Bones, why in the fuck would somebody retire young? I don't know. Maybe they got a heart problem or some shit, you dip ass fucking...
Bones puts his foot in his mouth a lot, especially in the next episode that comes up. But it's just like, he's very abrasive too.
Man, that's going to be good.
But it is funny though how like you're right. He is kind of just assuming he's projecting like, "Oh, you seem really young. You seem abled, and like you seem to be doing whatever you want." So,
but also,
why are you retiring?
Well, why would
that something to like congratulate someone of?
Fucking right on,
I'd be
dog.
I'd be like, cool.
But they're Starfleet, so their whole life is work.
Yeah, see, and
not
then
a good work-life balance.
To the whole work-life thing. It's like, I'm his superior, but I'm his friend. But I mean, this is obviously different because they almost die every week, but still.
Yeah, and I mean, I am
the hell ship.
Yeah, and they do. They're definitely friends first, coworkers second, as we find out many times when Kirk does stuff against orders to help Spock, or as we find later.
Too.
Holy shit. We got to get back into this episode because
the
end is great, and I want to give it all its due. But so Sarek gets confronted by the Tellarites, and the Tellarites are pig-faced people.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of that pig guy from Star Wars.
Yeah, a little bit. They also look kind of like the pig masks in the episode of Twilight Zone, where the pig-faced doctors are like the beautiful woman or whatever.
It's like a full-fledged mask.
Disgusting.
Though, isn't it?
So it's a mask, it's a prosthetic, and then there's a gap around their eyes, like it's like a Slipknot mask, like the band Slipknot, and you can see like it's very strange when you can
cut the slit of their eyes in the lower area, right?
Yes.
So you just see this black gap.
It's weird when you can see a person's like upper cheek or whatever behind the eye holes of a mask.
Yeah.
And so the Tellarites confronting Sarek, like, how are the Vulcans going to vote at the delegation thing? And he's like, it's illogical for me to talk about it now.
Yeah, we're on the ship. We're on the way there.
And then an Andorian approaches. Andorians are the blue guys with the bug antenna.
Oh, yeah.
They look like the tick.
Their makeup was a lot cooler, though.
Yeah.
His was a lot better.
And I like Andorians in general. There's a great Andorian in Enterprise, who's played by the guy that plays Weyoun in the
Weyoun?
Weyoun in motherfucking Deep Space Nine.
Oh.
Yeah, Wei Yun is the Dominion guy.
Yeah.
He's in every version. He's in so many Star Treks. It's bananas. And he also does voices on Lower Decks and shit. It's great.
Oh, word.
So basically, they're just all hanging out, giving Spock shit. Oh, you're more human than I thought. Blah blah blah.
And then it was like, oh, Spock owned what was it? It was like a teddy bear, or like a Vulcan teddy bear or something. And I was like,
a sea-lot.
Yeah, it was a sea-lot, and I was just thinking, yeah, probably because he was a child. Like
on Vulcans, the teddy bears have teeth and 4-foot claws, or whatever he says. And it wasn't a stuffed teddy bear; it was a pet.
Yeah, and that's something animal. Yeah. Weird.
In Lower Decks, Mariner gives Boimler shit about when he meets Spock. He's like, "Did you ask him about a sea-lot?" And then Kirk gets a message from the bridge. What? There's a ship that's keeping pace with them. And he runs down, and it's the size of a scout ship. And I know it as an Orion scout ship, so they kind of spoiled it for me because they cover it in future. It's so funny. It looks exactly like the one in Strange New Worlds, the Strange New Worlds Lower Decks episode. So basically, they check with Starfleet. No other authorized vessels in the area. And they're like, well, we got to monitor the situation. That's how it ends, right? Yeah, they just want to see what she looks like close up. They're going to get a little bit closer to the ship. And then it cuts to Sarek and Amanda having an intimate moment in their chambers where Sarek is like, you were embarrassing Spock, Amanda. And she's like, what do you care? And he's like, he's a Starfleet officer. He deserves respect. He's got to look good. Yeah. And she's like, oh, so you're proud of him? You're experiencing pride? And he's like, it doesn't take pride to want you to give Spock the respect that is due of his station. Not because he is a Vulcan, but because he is Spock.
Yeah, and also, too, where she's just like, you are really proud of them, though, aren't you? And he's like, no, it's literally just fact that he is a officer of Starfleet. And you have to give respect to Starfleet officers.
And he's like, do you understand that? And she says, no, but I love you anyway. And he looks exhausted.
Yeah, he's like, all she
says is no. I don't understand it. 1 second.
Yeah. I think that's Sanctor, isn't it?
Outside. Huh. The fuck? Hold on here. Well, we're just gonna have to deal with it, but that's funny.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen to us on Sundays as much. Okay, so we were talking about Amanda and God, that fucking dog barking too.
You just put in the notes in the back that like we tried to get it out.
Oh! Plus, we can maybe you can turn on the noise filter a little bit. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Also,
what were we talking about though?
Also, we're talking over it pretty fucking good. We were talking about. I was recording that whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. All right, so Sarek, and first off, you might hear some music in the background. Yeah. It is not in my apartment. That is our neighbor, and there's going to be a dog barking. This episode is off the fucking rails. We were talking about Sarek and Amanda, and he is she says, I don't understand, but I love you anyway, and he looks fucking exasperated. He's just like, ugh.
Yeah, it just seems like the accumulation of like their whole relationship, you know, she's just like, I don't get it, but I still love you. And he's like, oh, whatever. Logic.
It's
so weird.
And so,
like, how did they even get paired up? It just doesn't make any sense.
They say that at the end. Yeah. It seemed like the logical thing to do at the time.
It's a fucked up punchline. Oh, there's some dogs there.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, when we say Trek in the Valley, we mean it. We're in the real ass San Fernando Valley where there are dogs barking in the background. I have
like a group of them.
Dude, there's a lot going on outside in this neighborhood. They probably saw a lizard and fucking went crazy. And on the bridge of the Enterprise, the scout ship that they saw, it looks like it's got spinning gold fans around it.
Yeah.
And
it looks it reminds me of that. What's that kung fu movie where they have that hat and they throw it, and it has like the blades, and it spins really fast.
Well, there's something like that in Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And also Mortal Kombat.
It kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
With the lights on the end, and it just spins really fast.
It's that or like a ceiling fan, a gold ceiling fan.
Gosh, I'm going to look that up, but you keep talking.
So the ship like just scoots past them at warp 10, and Kirk is like, we got to keep pace with them, or they're back to shadowing them. And then we cut to this hilarious scene of Sarek getting assaulted by the Tellurite. And this Tellurite gets up in Sarek's business, and Sarek literally just touches the guy's forearms, and the dude blows backwards like John Wick just shot him with a fucking shotgun.
It's crazy, too, how calm like Vulcans are, and they know, like, you know, I guess it's more of a precision thing, right? Where they know how to control their body and stand the ground and know exactly what points to hit.
They are also very strong. And in this scene, it's interesting because Sarek basically accuses the Tellurites of doing illegal mining on this place. He's like, you just want to get into the Federation so that you can... basically, Sarek implies a lot of stuff with his logic with this Tellurite. He's saying that they're going to let somebody else, basically they're going to let somebody else into the Federation that the Tellurites don't want. Mm-hmm. And that makes the Tellurites mad. And they're saying that it's going to be good for their people. They're going to distribute the wealth. And Coridan is the planet. And they've got unlimited dilithium crystals, but they're poorly protected. And he's saying, and your Tellurite ships have had illegal Coridan dilithium on them. And the guy's like, are you accusing us of stealing? And he's like, I'm just saying, kabam! And then they fight briefly.
And what is it? Right as they're fighting, Kirk is like, hey, look, I'm the commander of the ship. And while you guys are flying, y'all are going to calm down. You can fight over in Babel. I don't care.
Yeah, when we get where we're going,
we're going to figure it out. And what was
Tellurites.
The Tellurites, yeah, sorry. Yes. The Tellurite was like, there will be payment for your slander, Sarek. And Sarek was just like, your threats are light. Or what does he say?
So the Tellurite says, there will be payment for your slander, Sarek. And then Sarek says,
the threats are illogical. And payment is usually expensive. And I was like, damn, that's a pretty banger line.
Well, also, that's a threat.
Oh, for sure.
It's so funny that he's like, threats are illogical, and then he threatens the motherfucker. Right? It's just like, you Vulcans are fucking, you get it.
They're pretty big and juicy. And then the very next frame.
To that Tellurite dead in a Jeffries tube.
Yeah, upside down.
Upside down, dead as hell. A security officer finds him,
he still has these sunken eyes, too.
Those weird, it looks like Leatherface, kind of. Like you cut a pig's head, like he cut off a pig's face and put it on his face. It's unsettling.
Yeah.
And now we've got a dead Tellurite, and Spock, Bones, and Kirk are standing around, and the Tellurite's neck was broken in a very specific way. And Spock is like, oh yeah, that's the Tal Shia way of neck breaking. Yeah. That was a compassionate form of execution back in the day on Vulcan. And they're like, well, who could do that on the ship? And he's like, oh, my dad could totally do that shit.
Vulcans. And they go, well, Spock, you understand that your dad's like gonna be suspect number one.
Well, yeah, because Kirk says, look, Spock, about 20 minutes ago I saw your dad arguing with this guy, and Spock is like,
the same guy that's just dead right now.
Spock is like, that's interesting. And Bones is like, interesting? You realize that makes your dad the fucking suspect numero uno.
And Kirk is just like, if your dad would have to defend himself to the death,
like if he had a reason
do that. And Spock was like, yeah, I think he would.
He would kill somebody logically and efficiently. That's what he says. Yeah, just like how this guy's dead. He'd probably
stuff him up a Jeffries tube, too. Like, he was just short of saying that, at that point.
And, of course, they confront Sarek, and Sarek was doing private meditation, so he doesn't really have an alibi. And then, kablamo, Sarek goes down with, like, a heart attack.
Yeah, I think that's just adding to the other, like, I don't know, the whole retiring thing, and also the... what is it? The added layer of terror or worry to this whole episode.
Yeah, now we
have something flying outside the Enterprise that they don't know what it is.
People are dying on the Enterprise. The number one suspect of the murder it just had a heart attack and is a Vulcan. So why would he be doing these murders?
Yeah, exactly.
It's illogical.
It would make no sense at all. So then now they're just, I don't know, they're just freaking out. And then Kirk walks over into Spock and he's like, why aren't you like losing it? Your dad is a suspect. And he goes, I don't know, man. I just accept things as fact and I just move on.
Well, also it's like the fact that his dad is
way to live.
the fact that his dad is like has a heart condition or whatever. Oh, and we should mention Chekhov has a
other than the murder suspect.
We should mention that Chekhov has a relatively normal wig. It's a huge disappointment.
Yeah, it's so funny too. I was gonna say, other than the Enterprise trying to look for the ship and all that, the crew isn't really involved in this episode that much. It's just Bones, Spock, and
Amanda and Sarek.
Yeah,
and also Uhura gets yelled at a few times.
It's so crazy though.
So all of this has been transpiring since Sarek has his heart attack and goes to sickbay with Bones. Now we're on the bridge where Spock is looking through the viewfinder, seeing what this scout ship is up to. And Kirk is, like you said, pressing him, like, aren't you worried about your dad? And he's like, worry's a human emotion. And this is when Uhura says, I've got this signal, and I think it's coming from on the ship. And Kirk looks at her screen and he goes, you got it on a wide beam. If you think it's on the ship, you should be using a narrow beam. Narrow that beam, Lieutenant. And she's like, absolutely. And it's like, Jesus Christ, Kirk, she could narrow the beam without you being such a dick about it. Yeah, she'll narrow the beam. And then we cut to, they still don't know what's going on with the scout ship. We cut to Sarek and Spock, Kirk, Bones in the, I want to see if that last scene ended with.
The hospital room.
That's it. Yeah, right? So they're in sickbay.
Yeah,
and we find out that.
Oh, I figured out the movie, Master of the Flying Guillotine.
Oh.
It kind of just reminded me of that with a hat. They just fly by really quick.
There's also in Ninja Scroll, there's somebody who throws a weapon that kind of looks like that when it's spinning around. So then in sick bay, we find out. So we're just going to condense this.
Yeah.
What they find out is they could do a crazy procedure because his Vulcan heart is wildly Vulcan or whatever. The construction of the heart, Sarek says.
This is what's crazy, though. Everything's like accommodated to just humans, I guess, on the Enterprise.
Well,
that's what it comes off as.
There's not a lot of aliens on it yet.
Right.
Spock is like one of the only aliens on the Enterprise right now.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I know. But that's just so interesting, though.
Yeah.
Considering they go to all these space.
Well, they have
places,
some,
right?
Yeah, and they have some Vulcan blood, but there's not a ton of aliens on the ship yet at this point, like there will be in the
Spock's
future.
The only one, and I mean, maybe he's donated once or twice.
I feel like people are going to correct us.
They'd be like, where would they put the bags?
Yeah, well, they've got space storage, I'm sure.
Right.
You hang them outside the ship, but so it's really funny because Spock and Sarek are like figuring out the course of treatment. Like they're like, we should do this kind of cryocentric open heart procedure. And then,
but that would require a lot of blood.
And then Kirk says, Bones, what do you think? And Bones is like, I'm glad somebody's fucking asking me what the doctor of the goddamn ship thinks you should fucking do. He's like, no, we don't have that much blood. And they find out that Sarek has rare type T blood.
And he's like, oh, also, I am a T negative Vulcan, which is pretty rare amongst Vulcans too. And he's like, sweet.
And Spock has the correct blood, but he doesn't have enough of it. And if they do it, he might die. So it's a big to do, right?
Yeah, they're like, well, do you think you could even give that much blood, Spock?
And then they're like, then they have to figure out how they can make Spock have more blood or make Sarek's blood production more. So they're going through these experimental procedure tapes. And Spock is like, oh, this worked on this race or this worked on that race.
Yeah,
we can figure it out.
Still,
what they want to do is they want to give Sarek a drug that'll increase the amount of blood that his body produces, and they're going back and forth about it.
And Bones is like pretty much laying it out though, where he's like, look, the physiological repair of a Vulcan, just talking about it is so much easier than literally actually doing the surgical procedure. A lot can go wrong, this and that. And his fucking Sarek's wife is like right around the corner hearing all of this.
And then she comes in and gets into it. And basically Spock says, look, Spock says, Nurse Chapel, pull up my medical examination records. And she goes, you're perfect. I've already got him pulled up, Spock. Like, she's like, I know you so well, motherfucker. You're going to sacrifice yourself for your daddy. And so then she says, you're perfectly healthy. And then that's when Amanda goes, Spock, you're going to use the blood production drug on yourself and then do the transfusion to your dad, aren't you? And he goes, abso-fucking-lutely I am. And Bones says, I'm not going to do it. She says, I won't support it. Bones says, I'm not going to do it. And Spock says, Mom, fuck you, I'm going to help Dad. And Bones, you needed to save this patient. So now logically that you have the means to do this procedure, you have to do it. If you don't, he's going to die.
Yeah, even for the chance, you know.
Yep. And so they got to do it. Like Spock convinces him.
Yeah, and then while this is happening, though, it immediately just fucking cuts to Kirk flopping around in the hallway.
Fighting a random Andorian that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And then Kirk gets stabbed in what looks to be his ass, but it's not. It's his back. We find out later.
But it's like an incision like that would fuck you up,
dude.
Too.
So he's fighting this Andorian. At one point, Kirk actually throws his ass at the Andorian.
Yeah.
There's a fighting game. There's a fighting game. On the Simpsons fighting game. One of Homer's moves is he hits him with his butt, I think. And it reminds me of that.
He just backs it up.
Yeah. And so they fight. Kirk gets stabbed in the back and he's got this awesome sequence where he's doing the intercom to say that he's been injured. And he's like passing out as he does it. Dude. Like I said, Shatner took the right pills this week because this is great, and the
cheesiness helps add to the factor though.
Brittany and I had to drive down to like real LA yesterday, and we drove past the Paramount lot. Past the studio where they shot this. And we saw the door, the Star Trek studio door. So then Kirk is now injured, right? And this throws yet another wrench in the works. So let's break it down what's happening in the episode right now. There's a random ship chasing the Enterprise. I don't know if we've been fast forwarding a little bit. I don't know if they've exchanged. I think they've only been damaged by the thing flying by them.
Right. They haven't confronted it.
Yeah,
Did they follow it?
Yeah, they've followed each other,
okay.
Basically. And now Spock's dad needs a transfusion from Spock while Bones does an open heart surgery on him. There's still a murderer on board.
I was going to say Spock's, he's also a murder suspect.
Yeah, Spock's dad,
he's
Sarek.
Probably past it, though, I think, at this point.
He's not the murder suspect anymore now that Kirk has been stabbed in the ass by the actual murderer.
At this point, yes. Yeah. But before, it seems like Spock's father was just confessing to more things, too, on the hospital bed.
Well...
what I was really meditating about was this and that.
Oh yeah, he was. He
kind of opens up more about it.
He explained, I had a heart attack earlier on the ship when the Tellarite was being murdered.
Christ.
Yeah, dude, and he'd had other heart attacks.
That's right.
And Amanda says, "Why didn't you tell me?" And he goes, "There's nothing you could do." And
it's illogical.
No, he just says there's nothing you could have done.
Right.
But it is totally illogical to not tell your wife you might have a heart attack.
He treats her like shit, dude.
It's funny, though. He's a Vulcan. He's a Vulcan.
Anyways, while that's
there's a lot going on.
That's the third problem. And then fourth problem,
now,
Kirk is stabbed
in the back. And a centimeter lower, it would have gone through his heart. It punctured a lung. He's got a bandage around his... Now... This is where
I thought
shit
it was
gets...
a lower back. This is all confusing now. And you thought it was the ass.
I thought he got stabbed in the ass. You thought he got stabbed in the kidney.
Yeah.
He was actually stabbed in the back by his heart, and it got through his lung.
So the blade just shot upward, I guess. I don't know.
And this...
The future blade.
This is when shit gets absolutely bananas, because we went through all of that crap about Spock needing to take the drug to make enough blood so that he can give the transfusion to his dad. And now he says, well, can't do the transfusion because Kirk is laid up. I'm the captain.
That's right. Yeah.
And now he's like, Starfleet says I wouldn't, Starfleet regulations say that my duty is to the ship, and this would be a personal privilege thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, anybody put Scott, and Bones is like, damn it, put Scotty in charge. And he's like, why? Because I have to do a personal thing, not acceptable. Now, Starfleet would not give a shit.
No,
Starfleet would be like, no.
Cool, it was your dad. Yeah, you got to take care of your father.
And Spock is just like, not going to do it. I'm the captain now. I'm going to go interrogate the Andorian. So Spock goes to interrogate this Andorian, who is a great. Let me see who this guest star is. The Andorian was. No,
I was just thinking though, wouldn't it be funny as Spock is explaining, his duty to the ship? Bones just like shoots him in the foot. Is like, oh well, you got shot in the foot. You got to stay here now. In sick bay. That sucks.
Totally. Oh, this guy's name is Thelev, the assassin. And Spock has a great.
Looks cool.
Oh yeah, so Thelev looks awesome, and he kind of looks like one of the actors in A Clockwork Orange, but he's got Andorian makeup.
Yeah, and he looks like he's part of like a grunge band or some crazy shit.
Spock,
just 4 of them.
Yeah, right. Oh, or like he looks kind of like the lead singer of the Hives, like back in the day. So Spock has an interesting conversation with the other Andorian on the ship because he's like, I mean, the Andorian's like, well, this guy just works for me, and he's always been a good officer, but I don't know him. And then Spock is like, well, why do you think he would have done it? And it just seems illogical to kill Captain Kirk and to follow the Enterprise. And he goes, the Andorian says, you got to stop thinking logic, Spock. You got to think passion. He says, there's no logic in Thelev's attack. There's no logic in Gov's murder. Yeah. And he goes, perhaps you should forget logic and devote yourself to motivations of passion or gain.
I guess.
This guy's great too. So Thelev is played by I don't want to open the rest of the IMDb.
Those are reasons for murder.
Schraz was Reggie Naldi, and he's Nalder, and he's great. So
Spock's
then
still doing more investigating.
Spock is being an investigator. His mom comes in and is like, "You have any officer could
this
fucking
scene's fucking crazy too."
She says any officer could run this ship, but only you can save your dad. And mother, how can you have lived so long on Vulcan, married a Vulcan, raised a son on Vulcan without understanding what it means to be a Vulcan? And she says, well, if this is what it means, I don't want to know.
And it's like, okay, you've been maybe let's assume 40 years deep into this relationship.
It might be 50 because Spock is old, 60, right? Like Spock is, I mean, not old, but he's older than Kirk.
Right. And it's like, how did you not expect that by now?
William O'Connell was Thelev.
And he's like, look, my father would be pissed if I just jeopardized hundreds of lives, risk interplanetary war. And it was like, all for the life of one person. And she's supposed to be like, of course, it's your father.
Dude. So,
damn it.
So here's the thing. Right? Oh, and I knew I recognized this motherfucker. So really quick.
Yeah.
William O'Connell, the guy who played Thelev, the Andorian assassin, he was in Outlaw Josie Wales, the fucking one of my favorite Clint Eastwood movies. I knew I recognized him. And yes, so thank you so much for recapping Spock's chat with Amanda here because it's great. And he, one thing that I would
brutal.
Here's what I would, Spock is not thinking logically here. He thinks he is, but he's not. Because Sarek is very important to the galaxy. Sarek is like a rock star. He's like part of intergalactic history.
And he's about to do some important
negotiating to make sure that Corridan's dilithium goes to the right people and they're not exploited. So he's very important.
And it's one of the last big negotiations he's going to do in his political career.
Yeah. And it's so funny because he lives for a long time after this.
Yeah.
And Amanda tells this story about when he came home.
This line was so weird.
Spock was 5 years old and he came home after being bullied and he had to have a logical Vulcan face on, but she could tell the human part inside you was crying.
And I cried with him too. It was like, okay.
And then
Spock's like,
Then she fucking slaps his ass.
No, she asks him one more time. She's like, are you going to go and help and save your dad, or are you gonna go run the ship? And he's like, I gotta do my Starfleet thing. And she
smacks him. And then he
nails him. It's
and
great.
Then he shows some human emotion. He walks over to the door and he puts his after she leaves, he puts his hand on the door like, I fucked up.
Did you mind meld with the door?
Now we get some rad Kirk action. Because Kirk wakes up and he's like, he goes, I'm so fucked up from being stabbed in the ass, kidneys, and back and lung. Oh, man. So is Spock, how's the transfusion going? Did Sarek survive the surgery? And they're like, no, we haven't done the fucking surgery because Spock is like in command and refusing to put Scotty in charge. And then Kirk is like, all right, here's what we got to do. I am going to pretend to be...
He's like, I can't damn him for his loyalty, but so I'm just going to try to fucking fake it here.
Yeah, so Kirk goes down to the bridge, backstabbed, lung punctured, and he's got to pretend to be fine. And Spock is like, are you sure you're cool? What is going on here? And Kirk's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. What's going on with the ship out there? Yeah, okay. I got things up here, Spock. You get going.
Of course.
As soon as Spock leaves, Kirk grabs his back.
Spock. He's like, let me sit in this chair and lay down.
As soon as Spock leaves, Kirk sits like how I've been sitting with my back all fucked up lately. He's like, just oh god,
just on one side, leaning one way, and he's like, oh, thank God.
And then there's an alien signal. Kirk gets the alien signal coming from the brig, which means Telev, the Andorian, is somehow using the radio still, even though he's in the brig. We cut to the very G.I. Joe looking surgical bed that Bones has Sarek in. It's got like a big
cool prop,
big metal thing over him with buttons on it. It looks looks like something they would have in Star Wars 20 years later, or 10 years later. Spock's getting the transfusion. He's clearly got the blood drug in him. They're having trouble evening things out. And then Spock is like, I have to be on the bridge. The Andorian gets out of the Andorian starts to escape. He knocks out one of the security guys, but then he gets stunned and brought down to the bridge.
And he has a transceiver hidden in his antenna.
Yes.
It's gross. It's smart though.
So then it looks like Sarek might die. Spock is still getting his blood drawn, and that's when the Andorian Thelev, the assassin, shows up on the bridge with Kirk, who's still clearly in pain from the various stabbings.
Yeah, he's just leaning on one side, cringing.
And so basically, Kirk says, "Hey, you're gonna have to destroy this ship, motherfucker." And he goes, "That was the point all along, Kirk.
You're not Andorian, are you?" And they get nailed.
Nope. So now, basically, what Kirk does is he runs silent. He turns off all the lights and shit, and he asks the Andorian to speculate, or the fake Andorian to speculate what he's doing. And then Kirk just lets them drift. He's basically playing possum for this other ship to come in and inspect them. And then he shoots him. And the Andorian gets you. You're baiting him. You're luring him in. So basically, they end up having to shoot the ship and it explodes. And Kirk says,
it's so crazy how like Kirk is not introducing, but using his whole. What is it? Not controversial, but just like, I guess logical, but ways of fighting all these other villains in space and stuff. Of just like instead of flying around going crazy, he's like, I'm just gonna stay right here and whole thing my ship broke and I'll just shoot him in the face.
I really love
and they're like, oh my god, what?
I really love Kirk's tactics in these episodes.
It makes me think of like
Corbomite maneuver, so many great things.
It makes me think though of historically, like with George Washington and crossing the Delaware, wasn't it like the English were just celebrating a Christmas party or something, and they're like, "There's no way they'd attack. It's a holiday. Traditionally, people would never fight on holidays." And they're like, "Let's just go fight them because they don't think we're gonna fight them."
You would know better than me. I've forgotten pretty much everything I learned about the old American history.
So just people just being like, "Why don't we just do that?"
So they have to blow up this ship, and then Kirk is like, start beaming over the survivors, but then they self-destruct.
Right, and he goes, oh shit.
And the Andorian is like, yeah, they never would have left survivors.
He's like, you know how it is, you know how it does.
Yep. And then we find
Ride or die.
We find out that, so then Kirk is like, well, we've still got you. And he goes, only temporarily, Captain.
Late.
I've taken some slow poison.
Yeah, the way he hypes it up, he's
I
like,
love it.
It's going to take 10 minutes to go into effect.
And then he dies 4 seconds later. He's like, oh, I miscalculated the dose.
They're walking to the turbo lift, and he's like, oh, I'm going to die now.
Yep, and then Kirk puts Chekhov in charge, and he heads down to see that Spock and Sarek are fine. They all have a good laugh, and then Amanda says,
"Oh God, it's the cursed part."
Amanda says, Sarek, aren't you going to thank Spock? And Sarek is like, thank him for what? And she goes, saving your life. And he goes, Spock did the only logical course of action in front of him.
Anybody would do.
Why would I thank him? And
You're being so silly.
and then she goes, if this is how you feel, why did you marry a human in the first place? And he goes, it seemed like a logical thing to do at the time.
Then he's like, then.
And then they explain that it was Orion smugglers that were doing all this stuff.
Snip it up real quick.
And Sarek is like, what would they have to gain? And then he says, mutual suspicion and Kirk says, what would they have to gain? Sarek says, mutual suspicion and interplanetary war, because Kirk says, of course, the Orions would poise themselves neutrally, and they would supply dilithium to both sides.
Exactly.
That they'd be stealing from Coridan. And there you go. And then they have that very cute little moment with Sarek and Spock.
Yeah, gosh. It was just so ridiculous, though, because...
Spock says, why did you marry her?
He goes, has she always been like that? Yes. Why did you marry her?
And she says, why did you marry me? And he goes, it seemed like the logical thing to do at the time.
Dun-dun-dun.
And then Bones forces Kirk to lay down.
Oh yeah, Kirk's like about to walk back to the bridge, and he collapses, and Bones
forces
like,
Kirk to lay down.
And
then Spock gets up and goes, "I've got to go back to my station." And Bones is like, "Fuck that, lay down.
You're
just
not going
gave
anywhere." A ton of blood too.
And then everybody's quiet. And Bones goes, I can't believe it. I finally got the last word in.
No, Spock says, though, right before that, he's like, whoa, be careful, McCoy.
Be careful,
says
Kirk.
It, yeah.
Yeah, I believe you're enjoying this, Dr.
Like,
McCoy.
I think you're enjoying all this.
And Spock says, I've never seen him happier.
Yeah. And he's like, shh, shut up. And it's pretty meta because he looks right at the camera and he goes, I finally got the last word. This is the first time I've gotten the last word.
We'll see it now. There's several beats. Well, what do you know? I finally got the last word.
Yeah, I mean, it's not directly at the camera, but
it's close.
Kind of looking
it's
off.
hilarious.
Yeah,
and he does the Forrest Gump voice a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a great remastered shot of the Enterprise. And we also should mention there's a good remastered special effects sequence of them,
landing.
They're bringing in the shuttle at the very beginning.
The shuttle,
Sarek says, they say capture. We're capturing the shuttle. That's what they call it when a shuttle.
Depressurizing.
Oh, so what an episode! Spock's family and Orion plot that involved a motherfucking transmitter and an antenna. An antenna.
Yeah, but I think like what indulged me more and like obviously what people are favoring more is the whole relationship with Spock and his father and his mother and that family dynamic.
Yeah,
I found that slightly more entertaining.
It was great.
The visuals with the cool ship was dope, but other than that, and the villain with the antenna and the cool shots of him just staring at the camera.
I really liked that.
Yeah.
I really liked the scene that we just saw in the security office or whatever when Spock is talking to the actual Andorian.
Yeah.
It's just such a good little moment between like a guest performer and a main cast member, you know?
I think it's like they just didn't do it long enough of like Spock being a captain for a whole episode. I just feel like, if you're going to go one way or the other, at least to me, I felt like there was a lot going on in this episode, which kind of helped it too, though.
I
kind of made it kind of rough.
I disagree with you on the Spock should have been captain for more time because I thought that curveball. But I thought the curveball of like fucking Spock. They figured out how to do the blood thing. They figured it out. They went through. They did all this science. They put all this time and work in.
And that's like then half of the episode.
And then just because Kirk got stabbed in the ass, Spock has to be captain now. So I actually thought it was a very interesting way to like throw another obstacle in between getting Sarek well, because originally there's so many things you thought they finally did it, and then it's like, I gotta go be the captain now,
and it's like because of his logic that is getting in the way, and his stubbornness because he's a Vulcan.
And because he's Sarek's kid.
Meant. Yeah.
They even say Kirk even says they're both stubborn.
Well, true. And it's like, well, Sarek would be pissed if I did like dismiss my obligations as a Starfleet captain too and like abandon my post and risk intergalactic war.
Exactly.
Okay. With your argument, I do kind of understand like why they put that in there. But I was just thinking, like, maybe I didn't like it because, I like Spock as a captain, and I just wanted to see that for longer.
Yeah, I get it.
But also, I felt like, dang, that was a lot to put on in one episode. Maybe they could have focused more on one than the other. Like, the Orion thing was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, maybe the murder and the ship could have been tied in a little better, but otherwise it was pretty good.
Well, so ratings. I gave this.
Go ahead.
I gave this a 4 to a 4.5 because I couldn't decide. I think that the prosthetics and the ship effects and Sarek and Amanda being so human and Sarek being so Vulcan and Spock being in the middle, the emotional moments between Spock and Amanda, I just think it's a great episode that really shows why Spock is such an enduring character for decades of science fiction. He's been played by so many different people. He's really fucking complex. And so I think that, I would give this 4.5 stars just because it's as good as you can get without like an away team getting into fucking mischief on a creepy planet. It all takes place on the Enterprise.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what definitely helps it too. And the title, right, Journey to Babel, it's not really implying anything, but I don't know. I think I feel like it's a 3.75.
Yeah,
it could be a 4,
really
4.5.
Breaking it down.
It's like I think it's just
a wide range for your rating.
Yeah, but it's just I think it's because it could have just. I felt like it needed to just focus on.
You thought there's too many cooks.
Yeah, rather than the whole intergalactic thing.
Well,
the murder plot was cool and it was a little interesting, but then it's like they solve that or they resolve that talking in like 2 sentences at the end in the sick bay.
Yeah.
Oh, they were here because of this and this. But I'm glad you're okay now. It's like
you're right.
Damn, that was a lot of
script
and scenes.
They honestly could have just so I get it.
But I definitely get what people are saying. Spock's an important character. I love him, but I much would rather see it go all the way in on his family.
We should have mentioned that this is like a classic episode. I guess this is one because it introduces Sarek and
and balance the terror levels. Right.
So I can meet you halfway and say I agree. If they took out the shit with the ship, just have a murderer on board.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to. What's the point of the ship? A murderer on board could also destroy the Enterprise potentially. You don't have to have a ship to do it.
And they've already proven too that a murder could happen, and B, they can just frame it to anyone and see like with 400 fucking shipmates. I guess it's going to go under their fucking thumbs, or under their noses.
A couple things about that. How did the Orion know how to do the ancient Klingon neck breaking?
That's what I was thinking about too during the episode.
Also, something we forgot to mention right at the end when the Andorian the Orion Andorian is on the bridge with Kirk. They talk about how the scout ship was basically a kamikaze mission. Like it was, they were using all of their energy 100%. To attack, 100% of their ship's resources to attack, and they did exchange fire. We didn't cover that either, but it really like I just love that moment when they then the Andorian says, not only were they a kamikaze mission, I was too. Slow poison. But I agree with you there.
Check this out.
They didn't necessarily need the ship stuff. They could have had just a killer on board.
It was funny too, though, at the very end too, where Spock was like, "Man, I would have figured that out because just observing a ship using 100% of its power, they would have known that they're gonna never come back.
And then Kirk says, maybe you had something else on your mind, like your dying dad.
It's like, nah, nothing like that.
Spock's like, I
Things
don't know
are
what
just
else.
fact. I just take it as they come.
I'm Spock.
Yeah, who cares?
So you're giving it between 3.75 and 4.5 stars. Okay.
I'm going more into the 3.75.
Fair enough.
Bones is complaining a lot too, honestly.
4.5. Bones
like his
winks
thing.
at the camera at the end. Yeah, dude, he's a cranky. He's a crank.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a crank.
Immediately in his camera, and he's
Carl Urban's.
I say the last thing now.
Carl Urban's version of Bones is a crank. Like they're great.
It's so funny. I know.
It's great.
I remember watching that as a kid and being like, man, he's such an asshole.
That's so funny. You saw that as a kid. You were a kid in 2009. Barf.
Young.
So that's us talking about Journey to Babel.
Yeah.
And so now next week we're gonna talk about Friday's Child, where Bones becomes a dad of an alien that people want to kill. So that'll be fun.
That'll be an interesting talk.
I actually have something that I'm excited to recommend.
Go right ahead.
So we also, at the end of the show, we do recommendations for stuff to watch. The goddamn Adults Goosebumps that's on Hulu.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's so much fun.
Okay.
It has one of the most surprising, I think it's episode 2. The end of episode 2 is like one of the most surprising things. And yeah, it's like not guilty pleasure TV because it looks cool and they do a good job with it, but it's like Goosebumps, but they made it mature. It's not, and they don't say that it's R.L. Stein's Goosebumps. It's just Goosebumps, and they do say based on the works of R.L. Stein. But and Justin Long is in it, and it's just got a really good cast. And I like it a lot. So check out Goosebumps on Hulu. I watched it because it was spooky month, and I dig it. What about you, Al?
Let me think. I mean, I've actually been running through Parks and Rec for the very first time. Now I'm on season 6.
You're going to wreck Parks and Rec?
Dude, yeah. Honestly, pumping through them all, like, season 5, end of season 5, beginning of season 6 is like, oof, I've watched a lot now. Like, maybe you should take a break. I had to break it up, I've been starting to watch Monk, too, with that.
Yes!
Because now the new movie's going to come out soon.
Dude, I'm a huge Monk fan. And they showed the poster for
that. Yeah, I'm excited. That was, like, the only show where, like, my family did the whole, like, nuclear American family thing where it's like, we all sat around for the finale. Monk. And we're like, oh my God, this is actually going to end. And like, we got our popcorn and our drinks and we all sat around the TV dude. And saw the end of Monk. And we've never done that for anything else. Dude, maybe for sports and shit, but like
my family had those. My family had those moments all the time. We watched everything: nice. Seinfeld finale, Cheers finale,
the Seinfeld finale. Yeah,
my parents had bowling on Thursday nights, and we had like a VCR in the living room. I had a VCR in my room, and then we had just a VCR that didn't have a TV connected to it in my mom's sewing room.
Yeah,
because that's where all the cable inputs were. And so we would be recording. I would record all the Thursday night shows. That was like NBC was Seinfeld, Cheers, Friends, and then that was also back when Simpsons was on Thursday nights. Right. So you'd record Simpsons and then the Seinfeld and such. And yeah, so we watched all. That's funny. Yeah, we did that a lot. My parents actually turned me on.
Did you see the Monk finale?
I did, yeah. As a group? Not as a kid. No, not as a group. Because my parents turned me on to Monk and Psych and all those shows when I was like in college, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they kept saying, you got to watch Psych, you got to watch Monk. And then when I finally did watch them, I fucking love those shows.
What do you like more, Psych or Monk?
Psych.
Really?
Yeah. I think Sean and Gus are hilarious. They do so much. They do so much running really around all scared. Chemistry.
I think it's like watching Psych now. I don't know. It's like, yes, they are showing like, oh, this guy is experiencing this OCD and this and that it's terrible. But it's like, you can't help but think that they're also making fun of it, and that's like the
Monk is hard to watch.
Show, right?
Monk is hard to watch
it's
now.
Like it's a weird balance between that, and then it's like the whole comedic chemistry between him and his nurse, and it's like, oh no, he just kind of like
pretty abusive.
Her. Yeah, it's like emotionally abusive.
Yeah, he's a dick.
It's like funny watching that in retrospect now.
It's hard to watch.
But I might watch Psych again too.
Psych is fun to watch still. Yeah. There's some really good episodes of Psych where
I just love the detective shit in Monk though.
Yeah,
but Psych is fun too.
I have a hard time watching that stuff now.
It's like stuff like that in Suits.
Suits, we've only watched the first season of Suits. It's fine. We'll get back to it. But I also that's it. So
anyways,
we watch Parks and Rec, and also watch Psych and Monk. And fucking
get ready for that Monk
also,
stuff.
go watch the new Ghostbusters trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ, there's a lot going on. And the SAG strike is over. So
true.
we're gonna get more new TV.
GTA 6 is coming up, and then Frank Ocean apparently leaked some stuff on his Instagram story. Lots of new music coming out. So
much
we'll see
media.
What happens next time we come up.
So much content. All right.
Yes.
Peace out, everybody. See you next week. Listen to the bumper and do all the stuff.
Too, that Megan Thee Stallion song, Cobra.
Oh, I haven't.
She did a metal cover or metal remix with like. Let me see if you know them. Spirit Box?
No, don't know Spirit Box.
I think that's what they're called. Hold on, wait. Let me look them up. Yeah, Spirit Box.
No, I'm not familiar. We'll check it out. We'll listen to it after the episode.
Box.
And with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah,
Cobra.
it's wild.
Listen to the bumper.
It slaps.
Listen to it slaps. It's lit.
It is amazing.
So check that out too. Just enjoy some content, everybody, and listen to the bumpers. Like, subscribe, rate, review.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye. Trek in the Valley is executive produced by Adam Ordall Quinnell and Al Hurt. Theme song by Al Hurt. Recorded by Adam. Mixed and edited by Al. Check the show notes for our socials, and you can email the pod at trekinthevalley, all one word, @gmail.com. Like, subscribe, review, and always explore strange new fucking worlds.